balaclava.
Not a hat.
Neckerchief.
Not a hat.
That goes on your neck.
Yeah. Shoes, not a hat. Right, okay. On today's episode, Luke and Harry discuss everything that isn't a hat.
Hello everyone and welcome to the newest episode of Playing Favorites, the podcast in which me and my good friend Harry discuss our favorite topics in a variety of different situations. My favorite animal is a wolf. My favorite color is purple. And I did that backwards from how I did that last time.
What?
I think. Oops. My favorite co-host.
He's still choosing his hat. He's still choosing a favorite hat at the hat rack that we have in the GINGERFORK HQ. They just can't decide. They're so indecisive. But thankfully, I was just passing by, and Luke said, "All right, well, I need a co-host."
It's time.
You
I brought you on.
boy.
Hey, you seem to have a lot of opinions about hats.
Yeah, get in here, and that's exactly what happened. So, hey everyone, Harry Wright, FLAMINGYETI, good to be here. Good to be talking about hats.
I want to clarify something before we begin, as
Go
I
ahead.
always like to do. This topic, was chosen by you.
By me, yes.
Mhm.
Favorite styles of hat
Mm-hmm.
is on today's agenda.
Now, as with all weeks of playing favorites, we have to do something first before we can really begin to get into the nitty-gritty of the discussion. And that is going to be a difficult subject this week, I think.
What's that?
What is a hat?
Oh no. I can't say I don't know because
Well, last week you didn't know, but this
good point.
this time I think.
I mean, pretty much anything is something you put on your head. Like a helmet's a hat, right? Like that's a.
Well, that's the question, because I don't know if I believe that something that has full head coverage should be categorized as a hat.
Well, then you run into the issue of a helmet isn't defined by its coverage; it's defined by its hardiness.
Oh, you're right, because you get helmets that just go on your head, but then you get like a motorcycle helmet that covers your whole face.
Exactly right. Yeah. So, I think as long as I agree with you. If it covers the face, no, not good. It's not worth consideration on this show.
So a balaclava,
Not a hat.
neckerchief,
Not a hat.
that goes on your neck.
Yeah. Shoes, not a hat. Right, okay. On today's episode, Luke and Harry discuss everything that isn't a hat.
Well, that's one way of narrowing down what is a hat.
It's
If
true,
we
yeah.
have a list of everything that's not a hat, we can work from there.
We'll have a sensible list of what is.
What about one of those big plastic horse things that you put over your head?
I don't know what you mean.
What do you mean you don't know what I'm
A
talking
big
about?
plastic horse
Google
thing.
big plastic horse thing that you put over your head.
Oh, okay. Like the horse mass.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Not a hat, 'cause it covers the whole face.
Biblical insights from a first-time horse trainer.
It covers the...
That's the first result I got.
Oh, that's concerning. It was one of those Google searches when I typed it in where I can tell Google doesn't quite know what I mean, but it managed to scrape one source from like, that's what Luke's talking about.
They're called masks.
Masks.
Mm.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the
Masks,
word.
They're not hats.
Masks on hats.
Very much not.
I will mention,
Yeah.
as we were researching this topic, I don't know if you stumbled across this page, Harry, but I most certainly did. List of hat styles
Oh, maybe.
on Wikipedia.
I want to point out, you don't get to play that card, Luke. You don't get to say, in my research, considering about 10 minutes ago, before we started recording, Luke said to me the words, "Oh shit, I haven't thought of a favourite."
There's too many good hats, really.
No,
how
Luke.
could I have chosen?
That's not why you hadn't thought of one. We'd done all the trimmings. We'd spoken about. We'd got a time and a date to record. We'd thought about it. Come up with the topic.
I put up the call on Twitter, so like I was thinking about hats at the very least.
That's true. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh my god, Harry!
Yeah.
There's a hat on this list of hat styles that I think we have to disqualify.
What's that?
It's called a capilote. I don't know how you say it.
Okay. How do you spell it?
CAPIROTE.
ROTE. Right, that is what the Ku Klux Klan wear. And you know what? Not a hat. Not a hat.
Not a hat!
It covers the face. Not a hat. Disqualified immediately. Thank you.
That's the thing.
Next, please.
On this list of hats, balaclava's on here.
Well, that's rubbish. It's rubbish.
Not a hat. It says headgear, which is not a hat.
Not hats. The site that I'm looking at is just it's Men's Hat Styles, which I thought was a good start.
Menhats.com.
Menhats.com. But yeah, and it's just got put simply a bunch of styles of hat. All of them are hats. They all qualify. And it is, in fact, where I sourced my favourite from.
Okay.
Which we'll get to later in the show.
So your favourite is a men's hat?
Oh, that's a little clue, yeah.
Well,
I did look at women's. I did look at women's to consider, but...
oh, damn. Okay. Wait, hold on. A custodian helmet.
That sounds incredible.
You will know it when you see it, I'll tell you that.
Oh, it's like your classic British Bobby policeman hat. It's got the little patch on it. Oh, this is a good hat.
It is a good hat.
This.
It's got all the make. Okay, what makes a good hat?
I think it's gotta have style.
I agree. I think the thing about hats, it's almost the defining characteristic of hats. They are unnecessary.
Yeah, for the most part, I think. I mean, we did talk about like construction helmets earlier. I'd probably say they're quite necessary.
Okay, helmets are necessary.
True.
But no one's favourite hat is a helmet.
Oh, jeez. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Yeah, I think a defining thing, and one thing I noticed when I was going through different styles of hats is that some of them are quite similar. Some of them, are sort of variations on each other and stuff like that. But I think a good hat is a statement. I think it fits like with your outfit. I think it makes it's impressive. You go, that works.
But that's the thing. Importantly,
yeah,
it's almost defined by its frivolousness.
What a great sentence. Yes. No, I think you're right.
Okay, that's good. I think that gets us on the same page. We're both thinking about hats in sort of the same manner here.
That's true. Shit.
Oh, sorry. Am I interrupting something?
Sorry, it's just my my milliner. It's just my milliner.
What the fuck is a milliner?
Milliners make hats, Luke.
I figured that's what it was, but...
women's hats specifically.
Oh, okay, I thought, wow.
It's just... Don't worry about it. It's a project, side project I've got going on. Don't worry about it. I'm trying to think of situations where you have to wear a hat. Because there are sort of two distinct camps.
I did... So, helmets. Are we considering helmets hats?
I think we are, but I don't think either of our favourites.
But not full face covering helmets.
Correct. So not like a bike. Well, yeah, bike helmet, but not like a motorcycle helmet.
Yeah. No, I understand.
So
okay.
If people at home want to write in with their favourites, that's totally acceptable.
The other consideration I have for when a hat, maybe not necessary, but is worn practically, at least,
okay,
is a brimmed hat.
Ooh, explain.
To cover your eyes from the sun.
Ah, okay, yeah, you do start to wade into functionality territory with stuff like, sombreros or sun hats or... cowboy hats, stuff like that. Their sort of main purpose is, covering sun. And also that's the thing with snapbacks and caps and things like that.
Exactly.
That they can, stop you from getting sunburn on your neck. That's helpful if you put it on backwards. And it's, I used to find it very strange when I was little and I was at the beach. And like my view of what was cool at that point in my life was having your cap on backwards. But it was very strange because whenever I was at the beach, to avoid getting sunburn on my neck, my mum would always tell me to put my cap on backwards. And I was like, why is my mum telling me to be cool? I don't get it. I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to do it. And I would always really dramatically.
Yeah, like you're about to throw out Pikachu.
Yeah, turn the cap backwards and then feel really cool. So I went about my day.
This definitely hits a point where we have the practicality of a sun-based hat with the style of just a hat in general.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is where I begin to form my argument that hats that both cover you from the sun and look good are maybe in the upper tiers of hat level compared to, say, a flat cap. What are they called?
Yeah, flat cap.
What are the ones like a
miner would wear?
Yeah, exactly.
Flat ones, up north. Yeah, no, those kinds of things. Yeah, well, I think people generally get different things out of hats. Do you have, out of curiosity, do you have any hat anecdotes? Hatticdotes
My only hat
to share?
anecdote is that I've never worn a hat.
Really?
No, I've obviously worn a hat, but I don't own any hats.
Yeah.
I owned a fedora once. My mother
Oh
bought
my-
it for me, and I've never worn it outside,
Do you have it?
and I don't know where it is anymore.
Oh.
I think we got rid of it.
That'd have been perfect for the show notes. Oh my goodness. Okay.
I'm
You need to look
sorry,
for
Harry.
it. That's incredible. I think you'd look good in hats. I can imagine you with like your frizzy.
You've
orange
told me this
hair.
before, and it
You'd be
troubles
great.
me.
I mean, even just like a snapback cap.
I think I do agree, but it would just be such a big change in my life. I don't know
Such
if
a
I
big
could.
lifestyle change. How could Fran or your family ever look at you the same way?
Exactly. If I became a hat man,
Yeah.
am I even really the same person I was before?
I don't know. It's one of those big stuff. If you become someone, I mean, I think met people who always wear hats. They'll always
People.
just, oh, my hair isn't looking good today. It's short.
What kind of hats did they wear?
Usually, I think sort of when it comes to casual hats, really all you've got is the snapback and the beanie. They're the only ones that come to mind.
Mm.
I think for them is a snapback.
I also have realised I totally do have hat-related anecdotes.
It's plural. Okay.
Well, mainly just the one.
Buckle up, everyone. This is the rest of the show.
I do work at a place that has a deli counter.
Yeah.
And every now and then I do need to go on that deli counter to serve customers.
Okay.
And when I do that, I do have to wear a hat.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
One of the little, like a dinner lady hat. And I do have to put my hair in a hairnet also.
Lucas!
I haven't had to do this for quite a while, fortunately, but
Oh
it
my
does
God.
happen.
Everyone just imagine. How long is your hair right now? Like, it's been a little while since we've seen each other.
Shoulder length?
Shoulder, imagine it. Oh, everyone at home, imagine. I imagine you like Marge Simpson. Like, you've put it up into like a
straight up.
Yeah. Like a ginger Marge Simpson. Oh, Luke, this is great. And on top of the stack is your little white dinner lady hat. What an image! Oh my goodness, that is great. Oh wow. Yeah, no. When it comes to hat anecdotes, the only one I can think of is when I was at Disney World when I was younger. I probably would have been about 8 years old. And we were out and about, and like it was very hot, and I had my cap on. Controversially, and what contradicts what I said earlier, I did not have it covering my neck, so I was exposed to the sun.
Your face, I assume.
Covering, my brow
Mm-hmm.
to prevent brow burn. And I also had some sunglasses on. And whenever I didn't want to wear the sunglasses for visibility reasons, I would put the sunglasses onto my head, but obviously with the cap in the way, I'd put the sunglasses onto the cap. And I thought I was the bee's knees, right, with these sunglasses on the cap. And what I insisted, I turned to my mother and I said, Mummy, when I have my sunglasses on my cap, can you call me Ace? Oh! I insisted that she said, yes, of course, darling, sure thing.
I want you to know I hate this story viscerally.
Why? I know I've told
Because
it
it's
before.
the worst. Like, just imagining you doing that makes me very upset. It just,
You can see why it happened. You can
I
see
know
why I thought it was cool,
you were
right?
a dumb child. I know, and I understand. But I hate to be reminded of that fact.
I mean, I think it's pretty cool.
It's
Cool
it's a very funny story.
And like, if naturally it came up, right, and I started calling you Ace, like in conversation,
I would
how cool would that
hate
be?
it. It would be the
It's a
worst.
cool nickname. It's a cool nickname.
It's not a nickname. Look. Okay. Ace
Yeah.
is one of several names
Yeah.
that is restricted
Mm-hmm.
to packs of cards. Ace, Joker, King, Queen.
Yeah.
You can keep Jack. Jack's allowed outside of a pack of cards.
Luke, should we get on to some listener
You want some
answers?
responses?
Yeah. So you put out the call.
I put out the call
about 24 hours ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Asking people's favorite style of hat. What do they go back to? What do they say?
I have a lot of responses, and
Wow.
all of them are wrong.
Okay, I haven't heard
Well,
these.
not all of them, actually.
Right, okay.
We got 2 responses
Yeah.
of fedoras.
Okay.
And I feel like we really need to get into this.
Right.
Because fedoras aren't allowed anymore.
Yeah, okay. Elaborate.
They're not allowed anymore.
Why?
They're forbidden.
Why, Lucas? What's wrong with fedoras?
They are illegal. If you wear them, you are a criminal.
And what, because of the sort of culture, the sort of subculture?
I'm gonna Google
surrounding them?
fedora, and we're gonna look at some of these pictures.
I mean, it's all gonna be models wearing them. You know, it's all gonna be. Oh, okay, right. The first image I'm looking at, the man has quite the mustache.
The thing about that man is
Yeah.
he's probably all right. He's a man.
Yeah.
He's got a big mustache, big beard. He's wearing a fedora. The fedora does not fit his head, as far as I can tell.
It looks all right. No, I think it's fine. It's passable.
It's very slanted on his head.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if that's a style choice. It doesn't take long if you Google fedora to start getting into
Neckbeard town.
neckbeard territory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one of the answers did clarify fedoras, but only on women.
I was gonna say, now there are a couple of images here with a sort of wider brim fedora, and even some sort of normal ones on women. I think that's actually pretty good. I think that passes. I think you're out of neckbeard town at that point and into cool hat city.
They also specified like Carmen Sandiego.
Who I don't know, but I'm gonna look into.
Go look up Carmen Sandiego. Carmen Sandiego has a great hat.
Oh my god. Okay. I'm struck.
But I don't know if that's a fedora.
That's the thing. It's got a massive
It's
brim.
too brimmed. It's extremely
very
brimmed.
Very brimmy.
Just alarmingly brimmed.
Does look good. It works, and this sort of falls right into our sort of what we alluded to earlier of if it works with the outfit, it's an instant pass. It's a 200% modifier on your stylishness.
I mean, I think if you only wore red, like Carmen Sandiego does,
Yeah, with the red fedora.
you can wear this red fedora.
Yeah, this is like without the fedora in what Carmen Sandiego looks like, it'd be a good outfit. With the hat, 200% modifier.
That's a really good point.
It really elevates.
Do hats only work if the rest of the outfit's good?
I would say no, and I'm going to allude to that more once we start talking about my favourite.
Okay,
but I don't
fair.
think you have to. Like, obviously, if you're wearing like a grey suit or whatever and something like that, and then you've got like a black hat
You've
on,
got your
or
Yankee
something.
cap on, yeah.
Yeah, or like, and it just doesn't work. Then obviously, yeah, that is going to detract, and you'll just look like a fucking idiot.
You look like a fool.
Yeah. So I think it can go either way, but they're a big modifier, a big positive.
Okay.
If you can make it work. So fedora, I will say, look, I did one time. I was at someone's house when they had a fedora around, worn by a man who was not a neckbeard, and he actually made it work pretty well. This would have been about 2013, and I was taught how to roll the fedora up my arm.
Oh, and
put it
look
onto
like
my
a
head.
fool.
I think it was at the time, Luke. There wasn't neckbeards. They hadn't claimed
This was
it yet.
before neckbeards.
It was before. It was pre-neckbeard.
BN.
Yeah. before
BNB.
neckbeard. And so it kind of was all right and was kind of fun and cool. Whereas obviously now it's kind of like if I was just walking down the road, whipped out my fedora, and then rolled it on my arm onto my head, I'd probably get some funny looks.
I don't think I can ever get over the connotations of fedora. The fact that if I Google fedora, the fourth result is fedora meme.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot to get over.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm not even trying to say that, like, no one should ever wear a fedora ever. I think reclaiming the fedora
Take it back.
is important, but
I agree.
I don't think I'm the man to take that step.
Oh, Luke in a fedora. God.
Yeah.
You should wear that at work. You've got your Marge Simpson
It does kind of look like a fedora, so...
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Perfect. What else we got?
Another response? Slouchy beanies.
Ooh.
And I want to talk about this, because... how could this be anyone's favourite?
No. I actually quite like this. I hadn't realised the difference between beanies and slouchy beanies. I actually didn't know there was a subgenre lurking below the surface here with slouchy beanies. And yeah, I actually agree that these do look pretty good. Again, it's one of those like women with sort of longer hair. Yeah, I'm seeing that looks good. But also, I'm seeing a bearded man here.
It's a very lazy look.
That's true, but not like most hats. I feel are actually pretty formal. So to have representation of the sort of casual. Yeah, I think that's good.
You're actually stepping into a topic that I wanted to bring up at some point.
Okay.
And I wasn't quite sure where to slip it in, but I guess now's the perfect time. You might remember I failed to come up with a favourite before we started.
Yeah.
But that's because I spent all my time engaging in a pursuit of hat categorization.
Ooh, okay.
Or as I like to call it now, categorization.
Makes sense.
I've divined a chart.
Oh my god.
For how to determine hats. Okay?
Go ahead.
There are two axes.
Okay.
On the bottom axes, we have brimmed, unbrimmed, or brimless.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense. It's
On the second axes, we have formal, casual, and novelty.
That hadn't even occurred to me. That's great. Okay. Can all hats be plotted onto
All hats can be plotted onto this graph.
And where would you plot the slouchy beanie?
That's casual brimless.
Oh, okay, so it's not like a full spectrum. It's not like, oh, this airs slightly into...
Oh, we could try and, the alignment chart for hats.
Of hats. No, I think a slouchy beanie is chaotic good. In my mind.
I think I agree, actually, which is very strange, because that is the most meaningless sentence you've ever said in your life.
What's chaotic evil in the hat world?
The chaotic... Fedora. No, fedoras are definitely lawful evil.
If people want to mock up their own hat alignment charts, I'd love to see them.
Yeah, excellent.
If people want to send them over.
Anyway, my point about slouchy beanies is that slouchy beanies... They're fine. I do think they're good hats.
Yeah.
But they're not my favourite. They could never be my favourite.
I can see that. I can respect that. What else we got response-wise?
So we're going to step into a sort of realm of novelty.
Okay.
So on my categorization chart, we definitely had to, make that sort of third category for some hats of variety.
Yeah, right.
Like a Santa hat. It's not casual, it's not formal, really.
That's a good point, yeah. No,
it's definitely a novelty. But the answer we got is one of them detective hats. Specifically, the one worn by Detective Pikachu.
Right, okay. Now, that's one of those hats. I actually think that a sort of detective hat...
I believe it's called a deerstalker.
Deerstalker hat. Yes, I think you're right. That's one of those. That's kind of fringe. That would be hovering... I mean, it's difficult to plot on your chart, I think, because that's hovering between serious and novelty. Mm-hmm. I think that would have been worn, perhaps, however many years ago, by... I don't know, detectives or something. I don't know. I don't think they just drew Sherlock Holmes.
Do you think any real detective wore a...
Yeah, as I said that, I realised how stupid it was. But I think that...
Harry, I'm going to give you a clue.
Yeah.
It's called a deerstalker. Who do you think wore it?
Good point. I'm going to guess hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You got it.
And the thing is... So, the point still stands of that it was worn in a serious way, in a serious context, by serious people doing serious things, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know how serious deer stalking is, but I'm going to file it under that anyway.
In the serious deer stalking circles.
Communities, yeah, it's very important. But now it's kind of shifted over to novelty. You're dressing up as Sherlock Holmes, you just put on your deerstalker, and it has kind of fallen into the category. So I think it'll be interesting to plot over time the movement of hats.
Of hats towards novelty.
Yeah.
Do you think any hat has ever gone from novelty towards formal.
No. I mean, there's
It's
hats
it's always a decline.
There's hats that can be used in different contexts, I think. Like for example, like a top hat has a number of different uses, and
But top hats are novelty hats.
not in all contexts, I don't think. And also, like a fedora, like we were talking about earlier, I think there are people in the world who can and do pull off fedoras just because it's part of their style. Yeah, maybe it's one of those people who wears a sort of suit every day, or and pull your mind away from your milady fedora tipping stereotype. Like thinking about people. I know it's difficult for you, Luke, but there are people who make it work, and so it can depend on the context, on the person, on the day of the week.
I'm starting to think that maybe every hat is a novelty hat.
I think we have to move on, Luke. That's too powerful of a statement. I mean, like, what does that mean?
If what we were saying earlier is true, that every hat is worn for style over function, they're all novelty hats.
Oh my god. Huh. Let's move on. I'm afraid. What else we got? What else have people been saying?
Another response we got, beret.
Huh.
Which is a hat type that we haven't discussed yet, but I, personally, think, at the very least, is a high-tier hat.
Yeah, I can't think of a situation. I feel like it's a high-confidence hat. You wouldn't just stick a beret on in the morning, like, to cover your hair. That's like one of those where it's like, it is part of the outfit. It is worked in meticulously, and to a point. I think
it's high fashion.
Yeah.
Extremely high fashion, I would say. It's unisex in, like...
Yeah.
I mean, most hats are unisex, I would say, but, like, beret is traditionally unisex.
That's true, yeah.
It has kind of formal connotations, too. There are formal berets, there are casual berets.
Like military and stuff.
I don't know if there's novelty berets.
I'm sure they're available. See, the thing that gets me about berets is that there's two different... I don't know if they have names, but you've got like a military sort of beret.
Yeah.
But then you've got the one with the little nipple.
Little bubble on top. Yeah.
Yeah, the little sort of like... It looks like the stem of an apple.
That is a traditional beret.
Yeah.
And then, like...
That just ain't doing it for me.
I don't know what you would call...
I'm sure there is a name.
Beret.
Or a classification.
They look more sort of solid.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
There's also the Scottish beret, which is the one that usually has, like, the pom-pom on top.
Oh, goodness, yeah, the big sort of, bulbous pom-pom. I think...
Bulbous pom-pom is a Pokemon.
I was thinking a Star Wars character, but yeah, sure. Yeah, I think as soon as you start sticking little jangly bits on you... I mean, the thing is, the reason I don't like the little apple stem on a regular beret is it's not saying anything, it's not doing anything, it just looks ridiculous. Wouldn't you... Like, I love those woolly hats with the big pom-poms on. They're great, they're fun, they serve a purpose in keeping you warm, they're great, I love those, because it's a statement, it's this big pom-pom on top, it's lovely. Whereas the beret, yeah, I feel like, what's the point in this little dangly little nipple on top? I just don't think that's not doing it for me.
I'm surprised you're so against berets.
It can work, but I just think if you got the nipple...
I'm also starting to realise something about my own opinions on hats.
Go on.
I only like small hats or very, very big hats.
Okay.
Medium-sized hats, not doing it for me.
Another potential clue into what your
true.
favourite could be there. Interesting. What else we got?
Okay, I like this one because it's one we haven't discussed. Because we've talked about very small hats and we've talked about medium-sized hats, but now it's time for the big hats, Harry.
Okay.
What about a very big floppy sun hat?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Highly positive. Extremely positive.
Absolutely, yeah. Couldn't agree more.
They're huge and they flop and like...
They're
that's
fun,
good.
They're functional.
They're extremely stylish.
Oh, absolutely.
I've never seen someone wearing a sun hat and gone like, they're not rocking that one.
Yeah,
it's always been... Yeah.
Perfect.
And I think the bigger the sun hat,
yeah,
the better.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more.
And if it's got like a big flower on top,
yeah, anything. Oh my
that's
goodness.
what I want to see. That is the. That's the perfect hat.
It's the pinnacle. I'm looking at pictures. I'm sad to see there's not really many men here wearing sun hats.
I do.
Which is disappointing. And I wish.
do think sun hats are traditionally a feminine associated hat, but
still looks great. It doesn't detract.
I'm ready to reclaim sun hats.
Let's do it. Playing favourites
me and
listeners.
you.
Oh man, let's unite. We'll rise up.
Go out right now with your favourite sun hat.
Oh yeah.
Oh, do you think we could get pictures of our listeners wearing their favourite hats?
If people want to send those in, I'd love to see them.
That would be great.
Yeah, and we'd
And I hope they're very big floppy sun hats.
Exactly. If that is an option, like if we want to see your favourite, sure, if you've got it to hand, you know. But otherwise, if you've got a big floppy sun hat in the house, even if it's not your favourite, love to see that.
The closest men get is cowboy hats.
True. How do you feel about cowboy hats?
They're very novelty. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, true.
I think it's called a Stetson, right? Or is that like a type of cowboy hat?
No, a Stetson is a cowboy hat. Yeah.
Okay. They're good. I do like them. So there's a thing about Stetsons that I think is important to bring up. They typically, in old westerns, served a narrative purpose.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you would have a character wearing a black hat, and they would be the villain. And the person wearing the white hat would be the protagonist.
I see. Okay.
Isn't that fancy?
That is a nice little... Yeah, okay, that's a nice bit of hat trivia.
Hat knowledge.
Yeah, the first bit of this episode.
I wonder if I Google hat trivia, we can get some...
Luke, I'm ready to share.
You want to share your favourite?
I want to share my favourite. I'm ready to dip in. We've been holding off for a little while.
Can I make a prediction?
Sure.
Harry, is your favourite a top hat?
Luke, I can tell you right now that my favourite style of hat is in fact a top hat.
I knew it.
What gave it away?
I knew you were. You seem like the type.
Seem like the type.
You
Yeah,
seem
well,
like the type.
The thing is that my reasoning behind this is one thing I love about the top hat is that it is so universal. One, it's such a definitive hat. Everyone's familiar with the top hat. I don't need to give examples. I need to start talking about it. Mm-hmm. It's just a top hat that everyone is familiar with. It can be funny. It can be like, oh, we've put a top hat on a fish or a dog or Captain GINGERFORK, and it makes it work. It's a humorous thing. You know, you could, if there's a top hat in the room, people are inclined to
wear
put it on. Yeah, to give it a try on and stuff like that. It's a fun thing. Yet also, it can very much work as part of a very formal, attire. If you're in a suit, waistcoat, maybe if you want to go all out, coat with tails and a cane and a top hat, it can very much work. Or in fact, I think a sort of shorter top hat could just work as part, wedding outfit, for the groomsmen or whatever.
A short top hat cowardice?
I don't think so. I mean, if you can go big and you don't, I think absolutely. If you had the coat with tails and the cane, you've got a little stubby top hat on, I'm going to look at you a bit funny. But I reckon, yeah, I think on its own, I think a smaller top hat is fine. To dive into it a little bit, traditionally made of black silk, emerged much later than I thought. It actually emerged at the end of the 18th century. In men's fashion.
I mean, they're very steampunk.
True, yeah, they sort of fall within that bracket. Yeah, I guess. I'm a big fan of steampunk top hat where they have the goggles on the top hat. Yeah, that's very good.
Just the stupidest thing I've ever seen, but also is very funny.
Yeah, good excuse for nicknames as well. People, When I was 9, I put my goggles on my top hat, and I asked my mum to call me Ace again, and it didn't work out so well.
Call me Philippe.
I've got some examples as well. So you got of famous instances of the top hat. You got the Monopoly Man. You got Scrooge McDuck, Uncle Sam, and one thing which I did want to bring up, which maybe is what won me over, is Zatanna, the DC Comics. Magician lady. And of course, how could we ignore the top hat's use in stage magic? Pulling rabbits out of hat. It's a classic, an absolute classic. And in any sort of stage magic, everyone is familiar with the concept of a top hat being used in magic, which I think is just excellent. Kind of ties into that sort of legacy kind of lore. Everyone's familiar. It's got its purpose. It pops up in culture all the time. It's everywhere. Top hats are everywhere. But yeah, I actually found out when I'm researching into this, there is a collapsible version of a top hat that exists.
Oh, telescopic.
Kind of called an opera hat or a gibbous. It's not quite telescopic. It's kind of you'd collapse it, kind of like like tents, like pop-up tents. They've got those kind of bendy wires in. I think the Wikipedia page for the opera hat, the image, it's got like a top hat, and then what just looks to me like a sort of resized in Photoshop, compressed down image, like someone's just stretched it and flat down.
Stretched it downwards, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. But I think the purpose is that you would fold it up, put it away for convenience, either in a wardrobe or under a seat, and it could pop up and you whack on your gibbous.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
That's obviously a more novelty thing. I can't imagine people having that at weddings.
I really like the idea that you could keep it in like your back pocket, and you would like. Oh damn! Things are getting real formal around here.
That's a great. Imagine doing that with like any hat. Imagine getting a big floppy sun hat. Yeah, and it's like folded up into like a little pouch.
Or if ever you fell out of a plane.
It self-activates. And yeah, you whack it onto your head. God, that is a great image. And I will say, actually, talking about sun hats, it has began to battle in my mind, the top hat. I think those two are hold a sort of very high prestige in my mind.
Well, Harry, you'll be pleased to find out that sun hats are not going to go unrepresented this day.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Harry, my favourite type of hat is a very big, very floppy sun hat.
Makes sense. Okay.
I mean, just look at them. I'm looking at pictures of big floppy sun hats again. So, the reason I mentioned the very small hats versus very big hats is there is another type of hat that I very much enjoy called a fascinator.
Wow, I've never even heard of this. Okay.
Look at them. They're tiny.
Oh, okay.
They are tiny hats.
How do you feel about these, sorry?
They're very positive. Look at them.
Look, I hate these.
They're so good, Harry.
No. These aren't doing
They're perfect. It's all style.
It is, absolutely.
No function whatsoever. 100%.
See, this is style that isn't doing it for me, though, because it's see-through and wavy, and it's got these dangly... I'm seeing lots of, like, flowers and bows.
There's so many different things they can be, though.
Fascinator isn't doing it for me. This looks like something you might see at a funeral, maybe. Like
yeah,
on
a little black one.
Little black one. Sort of, I'm trying to describe for the people at home, yeah. I like that you pitched your favourite style of hat.
And then start talking about a different... Well, I think sun hats and fascinators are cut from the same cloth. I mean, maybe literally, depending on the material they're made of. But no, the big floppy sun hat. I mean, just the thing, it also merges the style and function that I was talking about earlier. All the best hats.
Yeah, I'm not seeing much function for the fascinator, whereas the sun hat, which is why I think what separates them, the sun hat does have function, very much so.
Well, that's what gave the sun hat the edge for me. Just like... That would actually help.
Oh, absolutely, undoubtedly. And I feel like this is a very unique episode of Playing Favourites, and the fact that I actually really agree with you. My second favourite hat might be big floppy sun hat.
I'm going to confess, Harry, top hats were close to the top of my list.
Okay, what a wonderful moment of unity.
Then we don't have to be enemies this day. We can both we can sit happily across from each other at this table of.
Yeah, both. I've got a top hat on. You've got a big floppy sun hat on. A bit inappropriate for the wedding, right, Luke? But I guess we'll let it slide. There's a couple of glances being exchanged. But do you know any popular occurrences of sun hats? Any time or any where they appear in pop culture or on a particular character?
Sometimes they're associated with like Victorian widows. Which is a very cool look, I think. Like Victorian sun hat.
Is that a grieving lady or a type of spider, by the way, the Victorian widow?
Yeah, not...
Because I'm going to assume the former or the latter, depending on which way I said those.
I'm going to send you this one picture.
Okay.
Because this is the hat that I want. She has a very large flower. It's not a real hat, it is a painting. But like, Look at it.
Yeah, so this one that I'm looking, yeah, so it's got it's a very big floppy sun hat. It's sort of a tan color, and then it's got this big I don't even know how you describe. Yeah, it looks like I don't know if it is one big flower.
It looks like a plume of smoke.
Yeah, there's some kind of mushroom cloud explosion happening on the surface of the hat. But that does look very good, and I agree that I feel like both of our answers here are stylish and good. In
You know what
different
is
contexts.
weird?
What?
Is we've chosen similar like time periods as well.
Good point. Yeah. Yeah. You still have a woman with a sun hat on, and a man.
I
with
can
a...
find pictures of men with top hats and women with sun hats, like right here. This isn't a big sun hat, but it is a sun hat. It's also too big to send you over Discord.
Wow. Okay, that's incredible.
It's a very large image. I'll just send you the article. It's on the Sun. Victorian women had more orgasms than we do today, according to world's first sex survey.
Oh wow! Ironically, an article from the Sun.
Yep.
Sun hat. Very funny.
Sun hat.
Yeah, here we are. I'm seeing a picture of
a man in a top hat. He's kissing the hand of the lady. She's wearing a sun hat.
I like this. The caption of the image is 80% of the study participants said they desired sex.
I didn't think this episode would get so horny.
We're starting to get back into a Milady territory. Wow.
Can we talk about some what's the word? Honorary runner-ups?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Because there is a type of hat that I want to talk about that we haven't discussed yet.
Okay.
It's definitely a novelty hat, and that's why it wasn't really on my winning list.
Yeah.
It's a wizard hat, Harry.
Oh my god, great answer. Great answer, yeah.
Look at them. There's so many different varieties of wizard hat, first off.
True, yeah, different colours.
But it is a lot like a big floppy sun hat.
True. I think we're establishing a theme here of the floppiness of the hat.
The floppy hats are better. Which is odd, considering top hats...
Very erect.
Remarkably sturdy.
Very much so, yeah. And also, look, actually, to poke a hole for a moment, earlier you were talking about slouched beanies and how you weren't a fan.
That's a really good point.
So maybe there isn't, maybe we haven't cracked it exactly.
Maybe we don't have the algorithm for best hats.
There's more. I'll tell you what, my favourite example of a wizard hat is, Mickey Mouse from Fantasia.
Uh-huh.
With his blue, sort of starry...
I actually own that hat.
Really?
The one from the film, yeah. No, the real prop.
The one that Mickey wore.
No, I went to Disneyland. It has a pair of mouse ears on it as well.
Okay, that's something.
Which I do think diminishes it a little bit, but it's still good.
That does raise the question. I just want to quickly slip in what you're saying there. Are like headbands with like bunny ears or mouse ears and stuff? Are they hats?
Oh yeah, that was something I totally forgot to bring up. One of the responses we got for types of hat was earmuffs with cat ears.
Yeah. See, I think
it's not a hat.
No, I don't think it is. Yeah.
It's not a hat. It's headgear.
Yeah, that's true. I think it falls into that sort of, like, you've got helmets, you've got hats, you've got headbands.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe not headbands, maybe headgear is the right word. Yeah, hats, helmets, headgear. They're your three, that's the triangle. And then inside each one of those triangles is Luke's graph he was talking about earlier. And then on each one of those, it's got the alignment chart of, chaotic neutral, true neutral, etc., etc.
Hold on, I want to mention one more type of hat.
Go ahead.
Bearskin. That's all.
Hold on.
You know what they are. I'm going to tell you immediately. You know what a bearskin is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, yeah. British,
I've worn one of
beef
these.
ears, big, tall, black, fuzzy. Yeah, you've worn one, you say?
Yeah.
Is that when you're on the deli counter, they haven't got the little...
Yeah, they have me put one on so I don't get my hair in the food, but the bearskin's just dribbling.
Shedding, it's molting onto the cuts of meat. Excellent.
We haven't even talked about pirate hats! God, there's so many good kinds of hats. Shit, Harry, I just googled peach basket hat too. God, there's just a lot of good hats. I think maybe what we've learned today is that every hat is a favourite hat.
To someone.
To some, except slouch beanies. That's wrong. That's an incorrect answer.
Well, there's the one guy who wrote in, you know.
Yeah, I
their
disagree
favourite.
with him.
Okay.
I'm allowed to say it. He's my personal friend.
Oh, okay, that's all right then. Excellent. But we want to hear your favourite style of hat. We want to know. Write in. Let us know. Get in contact. There's various places now. You could tweet at GingerFork on Twitter. If there is a comment section on wherever you're listening, be that YouTube, Patreon, whatever podcast player you're listening to. Playing Favorites is now available in a myriad of different locations, all kinds. You've got Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all your novelty niche ones, like we've been talking about today. You know, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Anchor, stuff like that. So wherever you're talking, we want to hear about your favorite hats, suggestions for future show topics. We want to hear about everything. Let us know. Get the discussion going. In fact, there is now a discussion channel in the GingerFork Discord server. So even if you're in the Discord server and want to let us know, give your opinions, there's a place to do it. Luke, finish the outro.
Goodbye.
Sure.
What do you want me to say?
No, don't worry about it. I've already cut. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Cheers, everyone.
Goodbye.